What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Prison Architect. I know it's been a little while, but unfortunately my recording software had a little bit of problem with the update that we got for Prison Architect. As you can see, you're going to check out and see some different looking menus and stuff like that, some interesting tooltips that have been added. This supposedly is going to be the final update before they finish the game officially and call it a day and move on to the next project. But today, in Episode 4, we're going to be going over the Objects and Staff tab just briefly. Set up some rooms in front of us here so we can take a look at the Objects tab. Let's go ahead and assign these rooms some jobs here. So we'll give that one an office. Let's see, we'll make this one a staff room. And let's go ahead and split this last one so we can get an idea of the types of objects we can put in the different rooms. There we go. Now, the first thing to note is the Objects tab is expandable through this plus marker. When you click that plus marker, it's going to show you all the items that you have available to you in the game, as well as the items that are unavailable to you in the game. Obviously, they are blacked out, and they tell you they're locked. They also tell you what you require under the Bureaucracy tab in order to access those items. So, looking at this menu, it's a little bit overwhelming. So rather than looking at it in its expanded view, if we look at it in its condensed form, we're also greeted with the search bar. The search bar is nice to use if you're looking for an object specifically by name, for instance, a fridge. Very intuitive, nice to use. The easiest way to look at a room and see what you are needing to pass its room requirements is to zoom in closer, and as we get in closer to the actual room, you'll see that it narrows down and highlights the items that belong in that room. For instance, it says we need an office desk, a chair, and a filing cabinet. You'll notice that we have an office desk, a chair, and a filing cabinet surrounded in white or highlighted to show that those are the items required for this room. They also give you the option of a staff door, obviously to keep the staff safe, but in this case, when we go ahead and select the items that they are suggesting, our little worker bees will get on it and it'll make that room into an office. And the same goes for staff rooms. You know, any room, you zoom into it, it's going to give you an idea of what you need in order to make it what it should be. Very helpful, so you're not combing through the list or having to mouse over every single room. You can also split these rooms up for dual purposes. As you can see here, the only thing we need to make this a parole room is a visitor table, and the visitor table is going to be front and center right here. And we can also do a kitchen as well. We don't have to have a wall that divides them. We just need to add the objects. As far as removing objects is concerned, it's always important, rather than clicking on an item individually and saying dump or follow, which I don't particularly understand why they have a follow. Who wants to follow an office desk? But the dismantle option is very useful. A dismantle option is going to go ahead and break the item down and save it for a later date. You'll see that under the Objects tab with the little marker of +1. This means that you've already purchased the item, and if I need to place it again, you'll see that it didn't charge me for an additional desk because we had one in storage. Very helpful when you're reorganizing your jail or expanding or reassigning a room for a different purpose. You're able to save the money that you originally paid for those items and use them elsewhere in your prison. You also have the Dismantle Object button if you have multiple items that you need to click on and you need to get dismantled. You can also, with the button selected, drag just across the entire area with a hold down of the left mouse button and select multiple items at one time, which is very helpful when you're moving lots of items around your prison. Each of the items in the menu do serve their own purpose and necessarily aren't required for a room. For instance, If we were to change an area to a shower, all it needs is a shower head. So going into this room, we'll get a shower head, and it will become a shower. But what happens if you don't have a drain? Well, it floods everywhere. So an accompanying item to that would be the drain to make sure that your prison stays cleaner, you're not flooding out your inmates, keeps it a good time. So there are items in the list that aren't required for rooms but make them more useful. For instance, going with something like a standard cell, you're able to add more comfort items to that cell through the objects menu to increase the rating of that room to fit the needs of the prisoner. And that goes for the opposite as well. As prisoners misbehave, they'll go and deserve a less qualified room where they don't get their bookshelf, they don't get their radio, they don't get all the little niceties that you've put in there for them. Something else to keep in mind when playing this game. Moving on to the staff tab, you'll see that it gives us an idea of who we have hired, who we have available, and how many of each individual worker we have. Pretty self-explanatory, just a quick area that you can get to if you need to hire a guard quickly to catch an escapee, or hire more workmen to make jobs go faster, hire more cooks to cook faster, so on and so forth. You're also able to click on the actual tooltip up here, and it will give you some tips concerning the specific employee that you're talking about. For instance, the guards. They give you tips such as guards can find escape tunnels by searching toilets and cells and all that jazz. It's nice to click through these items and check out what each class can do, what each employee can do, so you're using them to the best of their abilities. If there is anything specific that you would like me to go over in detail, please drop a comment down below, and I will do a video specifically for you on that subject. I appreciate you checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up, and I will see you in episode 5. Peace.